Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Laser Design 1 Hour Rayjet Challenge. It's Dawn again, same as last week, same as always. Here greeting you once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you're watching this. My name is Dawn. As I said, I've worked with Trotec for about 2 years now. I work principally in the consumables department, the marketing department. I do a little bit of everything, and I love, my favorite jelly bean color is probably red. Miguel, tell me a little bit about yourself and your favorite candy.
I don't like jelly beans, and my favorite candy is a very unique thing to Brazil. It's it's grape surprises is the rough translation, right?
Grape
It's
fry.
grape inside like a coat of sugar and something. It's really weird, but it's really good.
Is it
So
laserable?
no, definitely. Not. I mean, I don't know. Can you engrave a grape?
I've
We
seen
can try
Smarties.
this.
I've seen Smarties engraved. If you're joining the stream again this week, welcome back once again. Thank you so much for tuning in one more time. If it's your first time here, we'll give you just a basic rundown of what it is that we're going to be doing. Basically, this week we're going to be making a cake topper. So a beautiful decorative ornament. I'll leave it to Miguel to kind of show you the object in greater detail, but it's a beautiful kind of ornamental piece that can go on top of wedding cakes, celebratory cakes, cupcakes, whatever it is that you choose. We're going to be soliciting some suggestions for themes. Perhaps, if let's say if we're doing a wedding cake topper, give us a fun wedding theme that Miguel can incorporate into his cake topper. And while we're getting those themes from you guys, we're going to have Miguel sort of run us through a basic design idea of how he would put together a basic cake topper to show you guys just how powerful the Rayjet is, and then also to get a glimpse into his design process a little bit. Also, if you're signing into the stream, we'd love to have your questions in chat. We'd love to hear where you're from. The Netherlands. Vivian from Laser Babes. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm afraid I have no idea what time it is in the Netherlands, but we're so happy to have you here with us. Think up some cool wedding theme ideas for us, if you please. We'd love to see those in the chat as we go forward. We'll probably get started here pretty quickly, but definitely don't hesitate to throw out some questions in the chat. We're always happy to try and answer them. Miguel has a fantastic background, in design, some time working with lasers, obviously laser-specific design. I have some background in marketing, Trotec materials, of course. So anything you want to ask us, we're here to help. As you said, today we're doing cake topper.
French and Portuguese.
Absolutely, yeah. Also, yeah, that's a good point, Miguel. So Miguel and I, between the two of us, speak Portuguese, English, and French. So if you want to throw questions out there in certainly English and Portuguese, my French is kind of hit or miss, but I'd be very happy to try, and at very least, it'll give you a good laugh, I think. I would love to get started kind of right away here, Miguel, if you like. We're probably going to start the 1 hour clock in about 5 seconds here. Again, we're working on cake toppers today, guys. So any suggestions you have for a themed cake topper, maybe a wedding theme that we could incorporate into the cake topper, that would be great. And, with no further ado, I want to hand it over to Miguel. Let's talk about, laser design.
Yep. I'm still thinking about can you engrave a grape? Stick in my head.
Smarties. I've seen Smarties done, and Smarties was pretty cool. You could turn them into M&Ms by putting a little M on the front.
All right, so to give you guys a more straightforward approach to what I tried to do last week, so I'm going to do a standard or average cake topper for you. And first, I'm going to start the same way that I did last week, so researching some references. Last week, I tried to put I forgot now the word, mood board together.
Yes.
Right. But when I was looking for cake toppers, I felt that they were simple enough that I didn't really need a mood board. Right.
Let me put your screen up here, Miguel.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. So when I'm researching for cake toppers, I use those keywords, right? Wedding, cake toppers, and laser cut. Why specifically laser cut? It's not because I want the easy way out. It's because when you look for cake toppers, you normally see a lot of those biscuit cake toppers and made of sugar or something kind of sculptures. So with laser cut, you see more to the laser toppers. And this is what I wanted for inspiration, If you guys can see this. Grappling. OMG, we're married.
We are?
Yeah. Almost.
We do spend a lot of time together, but
yeah,
I'm very fortunate.
So those are the keywords that I look for, right? And what is, at least in my opinion, an average cake topper? So you have your lettering, Mr. and Mrs. Gunning, something like that. you have like a basic one color material. So could be wood, could be acrylic, thin. Like specifically, it has to be a thin material because I think this thing it cannot hold a 6 mil probably. I don't know. So let's say 3 mil would be the cutting point in the thickness of a material. And you want something with the nice color, a beige, a white, black. If you're doing like the white and black, something.
Yeah, I mean,
give a
one thing
contrast.
that's nice. I mean, especially with the variety of materials that we have here at Trotec, Miguel's right. I mean, you definitely want to think about the thickness that's going to be appropriate for something that's so structural. We also have so many colors available that you can hopefully work into. That is, you can work into possibly the couple's, themed colors for their wedding, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So they also use a lot of ornaments around the lettering. This is also cool, And also simple shapes, like a hexagon and just the lettering inside. So this is what I would call like an average run-of-the-mill cake topper, right? Most of your clients would probably ask for something like that. So first things first, I will go to Vecteezy or what's the name, free pick or anything like that to look for, stock vectors so I can use it. Since I'm not gonna do it from scratch, I probably cannot do that in an hour. But there's another website that I like a lot. It's Vexels, and they don't have a lot of free stuff, but they have a lot of good stuff there, right? So you can get inspired and have some insights on what you want to do there. So let's search for wedding. Right? It's one of our keywords. So you have all this stuff, book covers, like invitations. You can see like cool fonts that you can use for yourself or not, like get something close to this, and some shapes. And see, wedding ring shape that's really close to what we would cut, for instance. Like this looks a lot like what you want as a finished product, okay? Because all this blue part would be cut in one simple shape. And they're all kind of mashed together, and you want that as well, so they can be in one piece, right? So you don't have to have anything in the back, put them together. So let's download this CPS.
Keep in mind too, I mean, we use kind of royalty-free vectors like this all the time. I mean, we're constantly designing different things and new projects. There may be a question if you're getting something like this off the internet. I assume, Miguel, that you would want to credit the artist, or you may have to purchase it if you're going to be using it in a product that you're going to sell on Etsy or whatever it might be.
Absolutely. Like 99% of the time you have to credit the artist if you're not like selling or anything. And if you're selling, you probably have to buy the rights to sell. In Vexels, this is a specific website for like stuff for sale. So most of the stuff here you can buy and already make for production. They will have a tag here. It's not for premium. Forgot. Print ready, right? Print ready. This is the stuff that like you have to buy for merch. You see? So.
Forgive me, Miguel. I'm sorry to interrupt. I had a question here from the chat just saying that they missed the name of the websites for the free vectors. So could you just one more time really quickly run over some of the ones you like to use?
Okay, so I like to use Vexels for inspirations because most of this stuff here is paid. This is my favorite one, and there's free pick. Most of the stuff there is free. There's also Vecteezy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Let me put it on chat here.
Yes.
Stop sharing.
I will have
Vecteezy.
I believe it's VECTEEZY, something like that. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that.
So let me share my screen again. Sure. All right. So have your the first shape that I want to use. Right. It's quite big, like 10 inches high by 8. So I want like 5 thickness by 6. All right. So why did I take it out of the initial PPS to my artboard? Because my artboard already has all the settings for print, right? So I have like all the RGB colors here and all the stuff, and I'm pretty sure this one doesn't. See, it doesn't. So I just copy the shape and create a new artboard and deal with it here. So I'm gonna transform this in red. And since this is a compound path, it's gonna look like that, but don't worry, I'm just gonna swap fill and stroke. Click this button here, and you can see that everything's Gucci. So I'm just gonna delete this outer square, delete this one, because it's a loose piece, and put in 0.01. So basically, we already have something that we can cut, right? But this is not a kick topper yet. This is not like a wedding kick topper yet. It's just a wedding ring. So I'm gonna use two letters that I think they look pretty cool together. With the font that I already got before, Cheese Cookies, and another font that I liked a lot was our LS script. Both fonts are, I mean, actually the Cheese Cookies is free. The RLS script is, you have to have the Adobe fonts to get that one, right? But this one I got into 1001 fonts, I think so, right? So I will transform this one in outlines and start playing around with it.
So just while you're working on this, I wanted to ask, so like you did with the initial vector, sort of turning it into stroke lines, that's specifically so that because the laser is going to read the stroke as a cut line.
Yes, I wanted it as a cut line. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to meld them together, so I can do just one cut, right? I don't have to deal with pieces falling after I finish the cutting and having to glue them together afterwards. I want everything to be just one clean cut that after I finish, it's done, you know? So I can Control Y and see if the shapes are overlapping, and they are here, 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 and here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can Control Y back and make this a little bit bigger so it overlaps better. Okay, I think this is good for me. So I select those, I go to my Pathfinder 2, I unite all of them. I go to color picker, I pick the stroke. Now I have everything that I want. I click outside, select both, and mash them together. Now, as you can see, they are melded.
So from a really basic standpoint, you're turning those letters into sort of a stroke outline in the same way you did from the initial vector so that you can combine them all into one piece. Is that fair to say?
Yep. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Everything in one piece. Also, I want to have something, well, to put on top of the cake, right? So it can hold itself together. So I'm going to just make a simple shape here and unite again. So there we go. I have this. This was pretty easy and simple to make. And I want something more like a little bit more zazz. So I'm going to do a kiss cut. And then this part here, right? Because I already know one material that I want to use that I got for you guys, and let me show you here.
So I wanted to quickly, just while you're pulling out the materials here, we've had some great questions in the chat from JC Productions, who is working on ear savers and face shield, and is working with their Glow Forge. So this Friday coming up, we have a laser jam session that's going to be talking about exactly the sort of materials and the sort of questions we're talking about. Right now, I don't want to jump in on Miguel too much on his design, but I would urge you to tune into our Friday jam session, which is 2 days from now, starting at the exact same time. And they will be able to cover off these exact questions for you. One thing I think going forward, we will be talking a little bit more about what makes the Rayjet special as compared to other sort of hobby lasers. But I would urge you absolutely to tune in this Friday to our jam session, where they'll be able to kind of cover off those sort of questions in a lot more detail.
All right, so let me stop sharing my screen so I can show you guys this properly. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one. It's mirror acrylic. What's the actual name for this, Don?
It's the short glass mirror. That's the rose gold, but it comes in 3 different colors: the rose gold, the yellow gold, and a silver.
Yes. So this is gonna be pretty cool to do a diamond ring. Yeah. So you go back, share my screen, show the last step that I wanted to.
I would urge you guys, if you see any material that Miguel is using, you want to ask any questions about it, please do. We can answer you. And also, if you ever want to look into learning a bit more about our materials or possibly ordering some of the materials that Miguel uses in the video, you can visit, I'll post the URL here in the chat, but it is our materials site, engraving-supplies.ca. I would definitely recommend checking it out. We've got over 1,000 different products and a lot of different really cool stuff for you to try out with your laser.
It's a great website.
Thank you,
All
Miguel.
right, so I'm gonna cut this out of the shape, right? Why? Because it's grouped inside like 3 different layers, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So I cut it out, take out of the compound path, and Control F on top of it. So it's a separate shape. You know, everything is put together here, but this one is separate. So I'm gonna group them. Control G. Everything's together, and I'm just gonna change this to blue, which is the kiss cut color that I chose. I can choose to up to 8 colors for Rayjet, I think. Actually, with the new manager, maybe we can do 16. Let me see.
Yeah, this is a really exciting thing. We're going to be doing a stream sort of detailing the new Rayjet software sometime really soon, but you guys get a sneak peek of it today. There's a new Rayjet software just newly out called the Rayjet Manager. That's really great, especially if you have any familiarity with our job control software. It's very similar, uses a lot of the same sort of design tools, and will allow you to really excel with the Rayjet machine.
Yep. So you can use 16 colors, and that's pretty cool. I'm going to only use 2 for now, right? 2 different cuts. This one is a kiss cut, and for you guys that you don't know what a kiss cut is a cut that only happens on the surface. So it's just marking the surface, right? I don't want it to be completely cut through like I want the red one. So this is pretty much it. So I'm gonna group all of them, and let's see, the size is 5x8. I believe that's okay. Should I turn it? And I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm gonna send it. So I don't know whoever like is in the stream that owns a Rayjet as well, but this is pretty cool. The Rayjet now, you can send the file just as job size, just like the Speedies, and this is awesome.
Yes.
You know, I just sent print, and I already have everything set up in the printer software. Yeah, the printer driver. So you see, the job comes only the job size. This is amazing. So, and make sure that my material is gonna be same size that I have on the bed on the software. Yep.
So the Rayjet you guys comes with an 18 by 12 inch bed. So, I mean, any of our materials cut down to that perfect 18 by 12 size like Miguel has there. I believe you have 12 by 12 materials, but you'll be able to use them the same way you would with any of our Speedies. I mean, any design you see Miguel here do with the Rayjet, you could scale up to any of our bigger machines. That wouldn't be a problem. Mm-hmm. But the Rayjet is the closest one to Miguel. It's probably his favorite. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, it can be on top of a desk. So anything that I can do in prototype, I will just do in the Rayjet.
I had a question here about the material that you're using. Vivian asks, with the backing on both sides of the rose gold acrylic, will you be leaving it on, or can you tell us about the backing that you have on the material there and why you would have that added?
All right, so let me show you guys. In this specific case, you leave it on because the mirror is on the back side, right? So if you take it out, you're gonna take out the mirror. However, on the rose gold, I also put 3M. Right? In case I need to glue this one to another material. And since I probably won't on this one, I'm not going to take it out because you guys are going to only see the front. But yes, I would take out the 3M. But after that, so let me take out a little bit. You see that there's a white part. This is where the mirror is, and you don't take this out. Otherwise, there's no mirror.
Right. If you wanted to have the mirror on both sides, conceivably what you could do, Vivian, too, is you could cut the same item twice and then just stick them together to create a double thick, sort of double mirrored piece as well. That's an option that'd be open to you.
Nicole is asking about the Quattro. And by the way, I'm going to send the thing to cut. It's going to take like 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes and a half. So we can answer some questions while it's doing it.
That'd be fantastic.
Let me change the camera here to the Rayjet. All right, the material is there already. I'm just gonna focus it.
Welcome back, Nicole, by the way. Thank you so much for tuning in again
It
this
is
week.
focused.
So
And
one thing that's great about the Rayjet is that, so you can't see it there in the image, but Miguel has a small Quattro extractor sitting next to the Rayjet, but they are both very, very quiet. The little fan that you see built in on the back of the Rayjet there assists in the ventilation needs of the machine, but Miguel can basically be sitting on top of the laser, and it's not going to be too loud. It's easy to incorporate into sort of any workshop or makerspace that you already have set up potentially.
yeah, and the laser is running, and you guys are probably not even like hearing anything.
Oh, so Vivian was asking, is it okay to leave the backing on while you're cutting it, Miguel?
Absolutely. Actually, most of the time you should, so you can like peel off after you're done the cuts, and you can put the pieces together the way that you want.
Amy has a great post here, Miguel, saying that she took part in last week's Laser Design Challenge, and it was a fun test of designing something within a short amount of time. We really appreciate that, Amy. Fantastic. If you guys, I want to say this again for anyone who's just tuning in, if you have any, so Miguel is just sort of running through how he would go about designing sort of the basic or the sort of starting point for what a cake topper might be. If you have any wedding theme suggestions that we could force him to now incorporate maybe into a more complicated version of a cake topper. Now that we've sort of got this basic one in the bag, please post them in chat. We would love to throw Miguel a bit of a curveball. Maybe not.
Vivian said a couple with kids. I can maybe do that after I finish this one.
Suggestion.
It's a good suggestion. Like you can get like a couple with the kids, like and put them together in one color, maybe black. Let me see if I have black here. Yes, I do, but it's plastic. Do I want to use that? And like do an ornament around, like. Who knows?
You can already hear Miguel's like designer brain like working even ahead of time.
Yeah, because you have like an hour to do that, right? Actually,
absolutely. Well, you got this cake topper done in 15 minutes. I mean, it was about 15 minutes from pulling up the first vector to having it on the laser and cutting.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at say Etsy. I'm sure we could pop over to Etsy here while this is cutting if you like. But this is a product that you could, as we said, that scales. But then also you could sell. Probably for $30, $40, $50. It's perfectly customized, but highly customized doesn't necessarily mean, huge design savvy to have to be able to put it together.
Yes. And honestly, with a bit of preparation, you can do it even faster than I did. If you have if you're just doing cake toppers, that's your business model, you can have a lot of vectors already in the library that you want to use. You can have a lot of fonts ready to go that you want to use as well. And just mash them together in the way that the client wants, and you can do that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's pretty easy.
If it's all right here, Miguel, I'm going to share this part of my screen here so I can show you guys. So here are some sort of basic laser cut cake toppers, sort of similar to the one that Miguel has done here. Some of these I like yours better, Miguel, to be honest, but I'm maybe a bit biased. But these are selling, $30 to $40 per cake topper. This one here, admittedly, it's beautiful. It's certainly nothing against the business owners that you see here, but $80 or $90. We want to highlight that this is something that Miguel put together quite simply in about 15 to 20 minutes. And, these are priced anywhere from about, let's say, $15 to upwards of $50, $60, $70. So it's something that, you could make into a very vibrant, productive business with, a Rayjet laser and 20 minutes of time.
Yes. Honestly, all those cake toppers, if you try to reproduce them yourself, you see that if you have the right font, for instance, it would take you no more than 20 minutes to make them.
Absolutely. Well, and what I love about this too, and why I want to solicit some wacky ideas from you guys, is that the level of customization on these, when you were looking for inspiration and stuff in the beginning there, Miguel, you were sort of showing they really can go in a lot of different places. Wedding cake toppers is a great place to start, but you could do a product like this for any occasion, any holiday, basically.
My favorite wedding fonts. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have any so far because, to be honest, this is my first cake top ever, and I'm not a big wedding guy, even though I have my wife, and she is probably watching this. I'm sorry, honey. And
you're in trouble.
I'm not a huge cursive font guy. Right. So this is my personal preference. I normally like bold fonts and But the two that I got to do like this today, and probably I would get more, is cheese cookies. I really like this because even though it's cursive, it's also bold. Like it's thick, so it's really easy to be read, and at the same time, it's really easy to engrave and cut, right? Because you might end up in some problems when you're cutting really thin lines, depending on the material. If you're doing this on plastics in general, they might glue together a little bit, and you might end up in trouble doing that. So you have to make them thicker, right? So I like these kinds of cursive fonts. The other one that I got was the Aurela script. So this is more classic, and it has this goes like thick and then thin, and I like this like contrast in the font itself. But other than that, unfortunately I don't have a lot of favorite fonts too, because it's not a big thing for me. I just finished here. Let me see what I have.
Fortunately, everyone, Miguel, the Rayjet is so easy and convenient to use that he can now make an I'm sorry gift for his wife as well within the remaining time of the laser design challenge.
Exactly.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Miguel, just while you're, I assume, cleaning up the surface of the acrylic there, is, what are you looking for when you're choosing?
I'm gonna clean this.
What is it you're looking for when you're choosing a font? If you're downloading one, I mean, is it more project specific? Is it?
It's 100% more project specific. I mean, especially if you're doing something kind of hundreds of times with different designs, you want to have a library of fonts, right? So since I have a background in graphic design, and most of the time I was doing branding, I had a lot of fonts, but most of them were bold fonts and like thick fonts. I didn't have a lot of cursive fonts. I didn't like to use cursive fonts, but I always had them ready to go. And sometimes I would like have more serif fonts like on the go. And again, this is project specific. Sometimes I would have to do a client that had like wanted cursive, and I would be crazy going through fonts to see if I could find something that I wanted. Or you make one, but if you make one, it's going to be way more expensive. It's going to take way more time, and you know the drill. There we go.
Beautiful.
Let me clean this properly. I have a magic eraser here. Oh, this is another tip for you guys. Buy one of those.
Yes.
You can go on Home Depot. This costs like what, $6 for 8?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And this, like, you put a little bit of water, you can clean anything. So it's kind of messy here.
The heat of the laser tends to fog the surface of the acrylics. It's nothing. It's nothing permanent, but it's just a quick wipe with a magic eraser can make it look really shiny and brand new.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So, there we go. We have our first cake topper.
Easy as that. 15 minutes and a finished product. It's really nice, Miguel.
See, simplicity.
There's a question here in the chat from Jim. What material is that? That is our Troglass mirror. That's in the rose gold color, but there is 3 separate colors. There's the rose gold, there's the silver, and the yellow gold. Definitely worth checking out on engraving-supplies.ca. It's a 3mm acrylic, and I mean, I think you would agree, it looks beautiful.
Yep. So let's see how can. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you guys how to do something better with this, right? I was thinking about, okay, so can I use wood and acrylic at the same time? I can show you guys if you want, or I can jump to the, let me put this over here, or I can jump to the couple with the kid idea.
Well, so I think, I wanna ask you. So you're saying you sort of have an idea in your head already of how you could even make the current design like more complex, like even sort of do a more detailed version of it. Is that sort of what you're saying? Kind of combining materials?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could go both ways, right? You can combine materials since we have the 3M here, and they can glue really nice together.
I actually think I agree with you. I think we should go to Vivian's suggestion of a cake topper that features a couple with kids. I think you've got more than a half an hour left in the stream. Can you take us through the design process of something right from scratch again?
All right, same thing. Since I didn't have any time to prepare for this, let's go couple with kids vectors, right?
Share your screen there, brothers.
Oh, sorry. Ooh. I'm sure here. Okay.
Getting some lovely comments in the chat here. People are saying it looks really pretty, that it's, Amy mentioned it looks really, really nice. Thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you for the nice compliments.
All right, so I was thinking about something like this, right? And like a circle with some, I don't know, flowers and stuff, and happily ever after or whatever. I don't really have a finished product on my head yet, so I'm looking through vectors now of what I might be able to use to make it simple.
While you're looking really quick, I want to just toss to this question from JC Productions, which I think is a great question, particularly in light of, there might be a lot of people watching who have a home business or a small business. There are certainly a lot of people who sell products on Etsy, selling on Facebook. I mean, right now with the COVID situation, as you mentioned, it does make things a little tricky. You can even obviously start your own sort of a simple web store online is something to consider. But it is really, really exciting that to hear that you're out there selling your own, items online and kind of getting your creativity out there. I would mention that I think, again, much as I want to handle this in greater detail, this is something that I think the Laser Jam on Friday is really going to touch on. It's something they love to talk about, sort of the business aspect of laser ownership. I'll pass this along to Lev and to the crew from them, and I really want to see if we can get them to touch on sort of the difficulties on selling on different platforms. But I mean, definitely, keep going, keep pushing. I think, the COVID stuff is obviously forefront for a lot of people right now, but I'm sure you have great products, and they're gonna cut through.
Yeah. Since I didn't find anything with kids specifically, I am gonna do some mesh here, like kids. See if I can find.
So tell me again, sort of, you're just looking for inspiration right now. Is that it? You're sort of looking for something that sparks off your imagination?
Yeah, but okay, so something like this, maybe this and this.
That's really cool.
Okay, so I kind of have, okay, this is only for subscribers. However, don't do this at home. You can cut. You can use this nib too. Yeah, so I'm gonna create a new file here. Come on, create a new file, and I'm gonna put this one here.
Do this at home. Miguel, don't make me ban you from the stream. That'll be a real problem.
This is free download, so I can get the PS file from this one. Make my life easier.
I should mention too, actually, I'm thinking about, just while you're downloading these, Miguel, if you don't mind, one thing to consider, and something that we really try and push at Trotec, if you're selling your products online, also reach out to people in your community. If you're doing wedding cake toppers in this example, I mean, consider reaching out to wedding planners, consider reaching out to event staff, different places that host weddings, that sort of thing. I mean, keep in mind that as a small business, particularly right now, there are a lot of people out there who want to be supportive of you, and also that you have a vibrant community both online of laser users and just around the place where you live that want to find your products.
So I was gonna trace this, but apparently the image quality is so bad that it's not gonna be traced. So I'm gonna do this manually. And yes, I know this could take a while, as in like could take 30 seconds.
Was that a humble brag of your skills?
Yes, it was a humble brag. I should have a mouse pad here. I'm doing the metal table, so it's sliding down, but okay.
So again, tell me about the sort of design practice that you're thinking through right now. You're creating essentially what is another, just like
tracing
vector, like you were doing with the ring.
Sorry?
So you're creating another sort of outline vector like you did with the ring, basically. It's just here it's a little bit more complicated because you've got to build your own.
Yes, normally I would just, what's the name? Auto trace it as a tool in Illustrator, and Corel also has a auto tracing tool. But since the auto trace is not working, probably because the quality of the image is not that great, I'm just gonna trace it myself.
That wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that you screenshotted it Off of.
It probably does.
I-
It probably does. Yes.
Sorry,
So,
I have to give you a hard time. If chat's not going to give you a hard time, I'm gonna make this a challenge for you.
mhm.
So tell me about the sort of maybe this might be. I mean, keep in mind, guys, that because the Rayjet or any of the Trotec lasers will work with any design software, you could do a similar thing to what Miguel's doing here with Corel or with Inkscape or whatever you prefer. But because Miguel is using Illustrator at the moment, I want to sort of ask him about what sort of hotkeys you're using, what sort of tools you're using here. Is that just a pen tool? Is that a lasso tool that you're using to make that?
I'm just using pencil. I'm a big pencil guy. Most of my stuff is drawing, and I like to do this manually, right? There are other ways to do it, probably easier ways when you can use a shape builder tool. Where is it? Where is it? It's here. Shaper builder tool, right? This one's pretty good if you don't have like a good understanding of perspective and proportion, and you cannot do that by hand, and you want to do like a nice kind of moon shape, for instance, right? You don't want to do it. You can just do 2 circles, go to the shape builder tool, click here, and there you go. You have a moon shape done.
Cool.
No, 5 seconds.
Or you have a wicked smiley face now.
Yes, exactly. So there are really cool tools in Illustrator that I'm probably going to use for other stuff. But this one specifically, I prefer to use the pencil, and I did that just like tracing it, right? So I also I'm gonna do a cut here so she can have a workable arm. It's just not everything put together weirdly. Okay, so yeah.
I have a question for you here, Miguel, if you don't mind, from John, who's saying that attaching the spikes on the bottom of the cake topper to hold it into the cake can
Yes.
use up a lot of the acrylic.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so that attaching the spikes on the bottom of the cake topper can use up a lot of the acrylic, underneath your design, because it's extending out and it's tough to kind of fit it into the. He was asking, has anyone here, including obviously yourself, Miguel, tried any other alternate materials to make the spikes, or would you consider just cutting them separately and gluing them on?
I don't know, honestly. I think it would be very fragile if you glue it, right? Because let me go back to my camera here and show you guys. Like I said, at least for hobby lasers, most of the time, stop sharing, they don't have enough power to cut a lot of thicker materials. So, like I said, I'm using a 3mm, right? And you only have this amount of thickness to work with to glue something, right? So it's going to be fragile. You don't have enough room to have a good hold. So if you glue two materials together, it's probably going to be very easy to break top of it, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
One thing to consider, I think, might be, depending on the design, you might be able to have, if you cut it separately, have it run up the back of the design, if you can't necessarily see it through the cutouts that you've done. But yeah, I think that's a tough one. That's a very good question, John. I wonder if anybody in the chat would be able to give us any sort of suggestions on what they might do.
So look, this one is like, 30% done of what I want, right? So I have the overall shape of a married couple with a kid. So I'll go back to here, and actually I saw some, this one's. So one of those look cool. And I have a lot of fonts here that I might be able to use. Essential collection, that teasing. So I'm gonna look for
here that he uses the scraps and leftovers, and then spray paints them and uses acrylic glue to really try and stick them to the design. So that's something definitely worth trying.
Okay, so I just searched for a circle wedding. I know it sounds weird when you say it out loud, but those are 2 keywords that you put together. It's gonna search for those 2 keywords separately. So I might get what I want. Might. So it's probably gonna be hard to cut. Let me see this one. How can I make this cut good? Oh, I know how. Okay, so I can download this It's free with attribution. So if you guys ever gonna sell this, you have to attribute the original artist, right? Okay, I have to extract this. Downloads.
So Amy mentions, and I wanted to single this out, Miguel, because I know it's probably part of your background that she's a designer that traditionally starts with pencil and paper and then scans and digitally cleans up her designs. And I know you like a drawing and art background. Is that something that you would ever sort of incorporate into the sort of thing you're doing here? If you had unlimited time, would you consider sort of drawing something by hand? And
in 1 hour? No.
Not in 1 hour, yeah, for sure. But
Like
if you had
most
sort
of the time,
let's say.
Most of the time I do that. In fact, this is my favorite kind of thing to do is actually drawing. I love drawing, I love painting, and this is my favorite thing. In fact, eventually, and Left might kill me for that, we will have a one-line drawing video that we're going to do, and it's going to look pretty cool. And I did that by hand. Like, I did the sketches, and then I vectorized it, and then, like, we're going to do that.
Definitely keep your eyes on our YouTube. If you guys aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you're missing out, I'm afraid. Definitely keep your eyes out because Miguel is putting together some really cool projects that we want to share with you guys.
So I don't know. This one kind of looks weird.
So you're thinking about what?
I want something like this, exactly like this, but with like flowers and something more cute. This is kind of to Mother Nature and stuff.
We have some great suggestions in the chat too, guys. Don't miss out on. We have some great designers sort of throwing out some options for how you might handle the spike problem. It's definitely something that I think is. I mean, I personally haven't done anything in the way of cake topper design, but it's one of those really cool sort of unique challenges to an individual product. So, I mean, if it's something you're thinking about designing, absolutely take advantage of the great suggestions that we have in the chat here.
Yep. I want this to show like this. Okay. So far everything I'm interpreting two colors because it's easier for me to visualize how I want it to cut, right? I believe I'm going to do this in one in one material only. I'm not going to do 2 layers. So that's why I'm putting everything in one color. And now I want some text here on top, right?
Okay.
Do I want this? This probably. It looks good.
It looks really great so far.
I would be doing it faster if I prepared with the mouse pad because everything is sliding here. But oh well. All right. So, what kind of phrase can I put here, guys? I honestly have no idea. Can anybody give me a hint?
Can you suggest some text or something that Miguel can, some initials, some like a funny line? We've seen some great lines in Miguel's research and both on Etsy. Some of them are NSFW, so I don't want to show you the Etsy page again, but anything funny that you guys want to throw on here. I wanted to highlight this question from John about Trotec acrylics considered food safe. So by and large, John, not really. They are quite porous, and so by and large, we don't really recommend it. We have definitely seen some food grade products made from our wood, but those are things more like charcuterie boards, cutting boards, that kind of thing. By and large, we wouldn't recommend our acrylics for sort of a food safe application specifically.
All right. Do you have any suggestions? I don't know. I wasn't reading the chat.
Not just yet.
Okay, so
let's see.
Let me see what I can find by myself.
Let's see. I mean, certainly, obviously, the cake toppers would be food safe. It's something that I'm just realizing what I was saying. Having the acrylics in the food isn't going to hurt the food at all, but we just wouldn't necessarily recommend it for something that's like a food delivery application or something like that.
Some birds.
Yes. Exactly. Smiley face. Thank you, John.
Oh yeah. I mean, wedding bells. Okay.
It's really good.
I mean, I'm gonna put the text. I just don't know what exactly. I want some tips. Like, what do you guys think? Like, happily ever married. I think this is pretty, I don't know. Food grade. I suggest your customers to wrap the bottom with food grade plastic for wrap. Well, there you go.
Very good tip, baby. Thank you. That's really, really great.
And let me see what I can find here.
Would you consider putting some actual bells up there?
Probably. Let me put the text first, so I see how.
You've got about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, more than enough.
Everyone, that is the confidence of a man who knows what he's doing.
I'm dabbing today, bro. Like I told you. No, last time was a weird topic for me, so I was completely out of the loop. Like 80s fat, I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
Oh, this is a great suggestion. Married with children. I think that's a great suggestion for text from Vivian.
Married with children, okay.
I like that.
So first, let me take this out.
So let's share your screen again. Here we go. Let's just, yeah, finally is also pretty funny. Oh, I like this as well. I really like Married with Children, though, if that's okay, because I think that really beautifully fits the. Nick also suggested add a moon. Let's see what we can do here. Let's add some text and see if we can get this on the laser, and we can keep making.
Add a moon, like let's put bells and moons and stuff like that. Yeah.
Charms box, my friend.
Okay. The phrase. Married with Children. Okay.
No pressure to spell it right, my friend.
So
it's just you and a bunch of friends.
So, okay, this is where the font comes together, right? The Aurela script is the one that I'm using. Looks pretty cool. However, it's too detailed for something that already has a lot of details, right? So unless this thing is going to be like 12 inches big, I don't want that. But this is personal preference, right? The client might ask for something different. I would go back to the cheese cookies kind of thing. And they're kind of too thick. So I have two different problems, but this one is easier to solve. I can show you guys how real soon. So I can create outlines, right? And I can separate this one and unite, separate this one, unite, get this one, unite as well. So how do you solve a problem with the font that you like, but you think is too thick? You can do something called offset path. It's really, really cool, right? You go to path, offset path. In Corel, this is called contour. And honestly, it's easier in Corel, in my opinion, than in Illustrator. But again, Illustrator is my preference. So instead of positive offset path, as you can see, you would create like an offset on the text that you made. I'm going to put like the minus 0.2, so it makes it thinner. And I put another color. However, I used a lot, so it kind of breaks down everything, right? So I shouldn't put that much. So I go back. Not long stroke, come on. Actually, you know what? Since that happened, and I don't want to use this, I'm just going to put a stroke.
So again, when it comes to sort of technique, I mean, design technique, again, it's the same idea, right? It's like outlining the piece that you want to create with a stroke in order that you can create like a cut line or an engraving line on the laser.
All right, there you go. So it was a thicker font when I began, and now I put the white stroke of 1.2 points, right? So what do you do after you did this? You select everything, you go to Object, expand fill and stroke, okay? And then you minus, well, not minus because it's a lot of things together in one group. So you go to divide, and then you enter the group, select white, select everything that is black, Control X, delete the group, Control F, there we go, it's done. Bam. Now I'm gonna meld everything together so I can have everything in one piece. Some designers are gonna kill me for doing this, but it's okay.
Not to worry, we have people suggesting you use Comic Sans with big smiley faces in the chat, so.
I'll never listen to these people. No, I'm sorry. Like, I'm joking. Comic Sans have their own, like, their public.
It has its place.
Yes, it is
probably
comics.
Probably not
by
at
the
all.
way, it's really is. It's already on the name. It's comics.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing comics, don't use comics. Man.
It might not be very romantic, but
Unless you're doing it as a joke. Like,
so are you at all concerned with this design about some of the pieces like the wedding dress or the thin leaves that they might be really, really thin with the material, or is that going to be sort of okay?
all right. So I think I'm gonna do this in wood, and in wood, you don't have to worry about all this stuff because wood won't melt. It will burn, but it won't melt. Right. So even it's like thin, it might break if it's too thin, but it won't melt. So there's a certain thickness that is safe. And honestly, there's no way for me to actually know that unless I do it, right?
Yeah.
So I got to do it.
Well, and let's keep in mind, guys, I mean, Miguel has also put together this design, which I would say is considerably more complicated, but it's only been about, 20 or 30 minutes.
So it could be a little bit faster if I had a mouse pad, but
it's okay. Next week we're going to be soliciting ideas for the mouse pad stream. We're going to be making Miguel's mouse pad.
Yes, that would be a great stream. Like doing some like mouse pad designs, that would be cool. I was thinking about doing those for me.
That's how I know you're a designer. You were made to be a designer. So you have about, 10, maybe 12 minutes left. Would you be able to throw up a couple different kinds of wood that you're thinking about? Sort of once it's ready, maybe we could have chat choose which material they want to use.
Oh boy. Have how many minutes do I have?
Sorry? About 12.
12?
Yep.
Okay, I gotta run with this. I was talking too much.
Great, Miguel. Honestly, this looks great.
I was talking too much. See, that's what happens when you're having fun.
James mentions you should put a bird on it, and I don't know if he's been watching Portlandia, maybe, but
bird. Okay, let me see if I can find a bird. Because I'm not gonna draw a bird right now.
Run with this, brother. I'm gonna try and challenge Miguel. Miguel has a very busy week coming up. I know for a fact. I've got some insider information, but we can always try and post some more. We have some more ideas kind of throughout the week. We'll try and post some ideas to our Instagram page, and we would love if you guys would follow us there. Amy mentioned maybe trying MDF. I don't know if you have any MDF there next to you.
No, I don't.
But I think it's a good idea maybe for going forward. I know we were talking about the mouse pads. We actually have cork, laserable cork here at Trotec that, maybe when we do a second round of coasters or some mouse pads in the future, we definitely want to get you some of our cork material to try out. John asked if there's a link for the Friday session. John, the Friday session, the Laser Jam, is also streamed in the exact same way as this one. So if you tune into our YouTube page, our Facebook page, you'll be able to see it starting there at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. It's hosted by Lev Uslaner, who is our marketing director and is a very good dude. And I don't say that just because he's my boss, but it never hurts. What's great is, so you guys can't see this, but I can see him shaking his head from where I'm sitting. And it's fantastic.
Hey, there are words.
I have to ask you, so this is an Illustrator related question that Vivian put out. The shortcut window you have open in Adobe Illustrator for grouping things, Miguel.
Okay. What? Sorry.
So Vivian asked,
Control G.
Open there.
Yeah.
Oh, Control G. Okay.
So something is.
Here's another great thing about the new Rayjet software is that, again, Miguel's not going to have to worry too much about being able to send this to the machine. He's just going to be able to control print it. And we're basically ready to go.
Anything that I'm missing here? Yeah. So thingy here. You know what? I don't have enough time to deal with these details, so I'm just going to send it.
You could engrave it. You could engrave it. You can engrave the whole piece out of wood if you want to try that as well.
Sure.
If you're concerned about anything like breaking off or being too thin, but that does look really great, Miguel.
Okay, so this is gonna cut through. Cool. This is gonna cut through. Cool. I'm checking now what I want to cut through and what I don't to make sure that I'm gonna nail this in one try. Actually, you know what? It is good.
I
Let's
think it
go.
looks great. Let's go.
8x8. So I think it's more than enough. To tight here. No, I'm not allowed to rotate. Take this out. Print. Let me see. I'm gonna use the Echo
Trocraft Eco.
Trocraft Eco. Trocraft Eco. Let me show you guys because there's a pile of materials here in the Trocraft
Please
Eco.
do. Here, I'll pull the screen back so you can show it more closely. The Eco, we did use the Eco last week. It's one of our favorite materials. Completely biodegradable. It's made from all recycled materials. It is fantastic.
And it's pretty unique. Has a crazy texture to it.
Yes.
So, where's the stream? There you go. This one. Use this one and soon.
Do you want to swap over to the camera, Miguel? The camera.
I will. Let me just make sure everything's correct here.
In the meantime, let me show you guys really fast our store, our web store. This is what our web store looks like. Ignore this man in the banner. Some of the stuff Miguel was working today was from our acrylic section. So we have, a ton of different stuff. I really encourage you guys to take your time and browse through over 1,000 different products, any of which you can always get a hold of myself or one of our consumable staff members. They'd be able to tell you a lot about it. But he was using specifically the Troglass mirror today, which I said comes in the 3 different colors, the silver, the gold, and the rose gold. And then if you're interested in the Eco or any of our other wood products, I know we were talking about MDF really quickly, or our cork. It's all here under our wood category. The Eco is the one of our absolute favorites. It comes in 3 different thicknesses and in 5 packs.
Isn't it too thin to cut? Might be. Honestly, I don't know yet, but I can show you guys on my screen here. Let me share my screen. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take 11 minutes, right? Because this is a really intricate piece. So I would say the challenge is over because there's not other thing that I can cut. And let's hope that this one also works in the first try, right? But,
so I want to remind you guys too, if you're coming late to the stream, if you get a chance, please check out the VOD on YouTube. It'll be up there on our YouTube page probably later on today. Miguel put together a simple cake topper in the first sort of 15 minutes. We looked over some similar cake toppers on Etsy, and they were selling anywhere from about $15 to $70 in some cases. This second one, he's got maybe one chance here to bring it in under the wire, but he put this even much more complicated one together in about 30 minutes. And realistically, you could iterate on something like this. You could really customize it if you want to, but I really want to stress that you could put something like this together in about 15-20 minutes. It might be slightly simpler than this, but the principles for how Miguel went about designing this are basically the same. It's just a slightly more complicated version.
Oh, sure. All right, so
Amy puts up a really good point, and I wonder if you could sort of speak to this, Miguel. If you want to cut something in Corel Draw, make sure your lines are turned to a hairline.
Yeah.
So that would be specifically the stroke lines, like the cut lines you were talking about. Is that sort of what we'd be referring to?
Yes. For Corel, you use your hairline. For Illustrator, you use 0.01, either inches or points or whatever. This is going to be the thinnest line possible. All right, so I use 0.01.
Right. So, I can see it's cutting there. Oh, I'm excited, you guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to, if it's all right with you, Miguel, I wanted to talk to you a little bit sort of about the Rayjet and what you like about it. Specifically because, again, it is really convenient that you have it sitting right next to you.
Yes.
But you were sort of talking about being able to cut 3mm acrylic. Do you find that there's sort of any difference in designing for the Rayjet? Because in my experience, it's sort of like a speedy level quality, but it's kind of tabletop size.
Yeah, nothing besides the bed size. Like if it's something bigger than 18 by 12, then yeah, of course you can do here. But no, and most of the stuff that I want to do is decorative stuff, right? I even talked to you about this. Like I wish I had one in my house so I could train more and like be faster at what I'm doing here for the challenge, because as you guys can see, I'm sitting right next to it. I'm glued, and you guys can I don't know hear it that much. It's not too loud, and the exhaust is really close to me. So you can put this on your living room and you won't have a lot of problems. You know,
Except maybe with your roommates, but that's a different. That's something we can't really help you with, unfortunately.
you can just do like coasters for him. You know, like
Yes,
he'll be fine with you if you do stuff for him.
absolutely. Well, and we should mention too. I mean, Miguel was talking about the thickness that you could cut with this machine, but it has either a 1.5 inch or a 2 inch lens available with the machine, as well as a honeycomb table, a rotary tool. So there is a lot of flexibility about the sort of materials you can work with, the different sort of styles and techniques you can work with. I know at one point we probably do want to do something with the rotary tool, kind of in the future. I don't think we've decided on what the project for next week is going to be, but we're probably going to solicit some more fun and crazy ideas from you guys. Hopefully we can do some water bottles. Miguel, is there any of our materials that you haven't worked with yet in the Rayjet that you want to try?
Sorry, what?
Are there any of our materials that you haven't worked with yet in the Rayjet that you want to try?
I want to try more like 2-layered stuff. Like the plastics. Where did I put that? I think I left in Lev's office. The ghosts cake toppers that I was training with.
Let me see.
So I can show you guys. Yeah. Let me see here. Woo.
You guys should know too, not only is it easy and standard and portable, but it works with a regular 110 volt outlet. So Miguel literally could bring it home and plug it in his living room, but
yeah, I want to do more stuff with this. Let me see if I can. So this is a cake topper that I tried, and this is plastic with a silver top and black bottom. So when you engrave, it becomes black, right? So I was doing like Halloween cake toppers.
That's so great. If you guys want to learn how to make stuff like this, don't forget too that Miguel he heads up our Trotec Academy. So if you're ever interested in having one-on-one paid training with Miguel, that's absolutely something we can do. We recommend contacting academy@troteclaser.ca, and we'd be happy to sort of get back to you about what's available. He really, really knows his stuff. Is there anything we can answer for you guys? I want to know, I really want to know if there's more that we can do with these challenges going forward in the future. Is there sort of products or themes that you'd like to see us explore? Preferably stuff that's happened within Miguel's lifetime, because the 80s last week was I really threw him a curveball there, I'm afraid. We're so glad you guys sitting in on this. It's a lot of fun for us.
Look, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm looking to stuff that's being cut right now, and I already know that some things will pop off. I mean, it didn't yet, but when I pull the wood, it's gonna break. So I need some more thickness in some parts. Am I sharing my screen so I can show you guys?
Please.
Since I won't have a chance to do it again, like I would make this space here near the neck of the dude a little bit more like spaced out. So this would be ideal, so you have enough wood to hold together the head and the rest of the body.
Yep.
Same thing goes for her dress. I would like make this shape a little bit smaller. Yep, I have the whole shape here, right? Yeah. So like you have more space on the sides.
And if you do end up making a cake topper, we invite you, please to post it either to our Facebook or your Facebook, and tag us, your Instagram. We would love to be able to show it off and be able to show off your creativity and what you accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it, Amy. I want to see it. I want to see what you guys can come up with.
The 1 hour design challenge. I mean, don't let the fact that Miguel is really talented fool you. It is a really tricky challenge. We've just passed the 1 hour, but I'm gonna count this headless cake topper that's gonna come out here in a minute as as a second design. I think you really nailed it this week, Miguel.
3 minutes actually. It's gonna take this 3 minutes. Yeah, the more intricate parts is actually the circle, right? With the birds and the lettering and all the flowers and leaves around. All the stuff is taking a while. The kid and the couple took, a minute and a half, So you got to be careful about that. Even if we tried to engrave to make it faster, you would still need to cut around those parts, So it should take like 8 minutes or so.
We have a great comment here from Mel. Just pulling it up here. So Mel is mentioning, I mean, a lot of nice, kind words for you, Miguel, but also that maybe in the future we would look at a tiling technique so that we can talk about maybe making kind of more of a large format project on a small bed laser.
Yep.
I've actually never heard of a tiling technique. Is that something you could sort of explain to me?
We have one, a huge one in our showroom.
Okay.
Stumping Ton.
Oh, of course. Okay. So sort of describe, is it like a mosaic style, like you're assembling multiple pieces to create a larger image?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's going to become really easy with the new Commander software, right? This is like better to have a bigger view of what you're doing instead of the mini manager.
Okay. So realistically, like just because you're using a small bed laser, like by no means are you confined then to sort of smaller projects.
Nope. No, but like there's a limit to what you can do with tiling, right? But again, this goes. It's all about creativity. If tiling solves your problem, go for it. You know, if you want to like do like big production, you need a bigger machine like a Speed 300, go for it. It's all about like what solves whatever problem you have and what you want to do, right? The Rayjet is perfect for me, and because most of the time I'm prototyping stuff. So before I actually do a large scale any project, like I was doing the masks in paper, and I would not do in the Rayjet most of the time because we will have to do a lot of masks, right?
Right.
But I did the first 2 or 3 masks in the Rayjet in a smaller size because, well, I wanted to see how it looked, how it like folded itself and all the stuff, right? And I know the end result won't change from the Rayjet to the Speedy, and the only thing that's going to change is the amount of things that I can do. And it's over. Let's see what's going to pop off and break and what's going to be good.
I'm excited, man. And again, design is iterative. Like this is your first one, and you put it together in a half an hour.
Oh my God, it's falling down.
You got it.
A lot of stuff popped off.
That's okay.
My God, let me change my screen here.
If you're going to show it, show that alongside the first one you did as well. I want to be able to see everything, the whole production.
Oh my God. All right, so almost, guys. This is okay. Let me take out this as well.
Thank you so much for tuning in, LCD. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the streams. If you have any suggestions, don't hesitate to get in contact with us. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Trotec Laser Canada. Feel free to chat with us here. We love hearing from you guys. We really want to start being able to interact with you as much as we can more.
So, some real. It broke the lettering. The lettering wasn't holding good enough, so I would have to make it a little bit thicker, and but
you got
the
end, you got the birds, the decorative.
Yeah, like I said, the lettering was the part that actually like fell off, and like I said, the dress broke. The dude's neck almost broke. It didn't break, but almost broke. And yeah, if the lettering was a little bit thicker, this would be a success.
If her name was Mar and his name was N, I think that would be perfect.
There we go.
Those are great, Miguel. Really well done.
I don't know. Is this a challenge with success or not? I don't know.
I think so. I think that's a hard pass, man. I think you nailed it.
But yeah, guys, you got to do it, for instance, 2-3 times until you find the thickness that you need and still keep your design the way that you want, But yeah, it worked.
If this is something that you guys want to try at home, we really encourage it. Try out.
Use Comic Sans, yeah.
Don't try to use Comic Sans. Thank you, Nick. We know. That'd be too powerful.
Yes. Too memey for a wedding.
Definitely, again, tag your own tries of the 1 hour challenge on Instagram. Tag them on Facebook. We really want to interact with you guys as much as we can. Reach out to us. We really want to hear from you both here in the chat and then, post on our YouTube comments, post on these videos. We'd be excited to interact with you guys. Jim mentions an Illustrator tutorial. That is definitely on the docket, Jim.
Yes, it is coming. Yeah.
We would love for Miguel to do an Illustrator. I know you guys want to hear that Brazilian accent more in your life. Believe me, I'm spoiled. It is definitely something we have coming in the future. Don't forget to tune in next week. We're going to post during the week, I think, what product we're going to be doing at that time and soliciting some theme ideas from you guys, both at the bit.ly link you can see scrolling here at the bottom of the screen. And then I'm going
to redo this. So it's actually like put together and good, you know? So you guys have a finished product for you.
Oh, Lev just reminded me too, we do have an Illustrator Basics webinar on our YouTube channel already that you can check out. But if, you know,
it's not with me.
Understand, yeah, exactly. Understand that it is something that's on the docket. We're looking forward to doing it with Miguel. So, and again, reach out to Miguel, academy@troteclaser.ca if you'd like some one-on-one training with him. It's definitely something I would encourage looking into. He's taught me a lot of stuff already on the laser.
All right, so
chat here if there's anything else. I think that will probably do it for this week. I want to thank you guys all again for tuning in.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for teaching us so much again on the laser. Any final thoughts, Miguel? Grape surprise?
Yeah. Please, if any of you can do this, please try to engrave on a grape. I need to know if this actually works or not. So
I've seen pumpkins, I've seen loaves of bread, I've seen cakes.
It could be tricky, but yeah, if anybody can like tag us and engrave on a grape would be amazing.
Charles, we're going to continue to improve week over week, but please don't hesitate to send us suggestions. We really want to get you guys more involved in the future here. We've got some great ideas coming down the pipe, but we hope you'll stay tuned and stick with us.
Yeah, and another thing that it's a reminder for you guys. I try not to get too prepared for this because it wouldn't be a challenge, right? So I kind of have a ballpark of speed, power, and what I have to use for the materials that I might use during the stream. Mm-hmm. But part of the fun is also like figuring out with you, you know, if that works or not, if I should use a different material or not, you know, just got to keep better and better and doing that inside an hour.
Absolutely. Thank you guys again so much for watching. We are going to check out Vivian's Cake Toppers on Facebook. Thank you guys all so much for the compliments. We'll see you again next week.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.